What's up, fellas? So the build guide is at the end of the video, but real quick I just wanted to go over why this build works with Lich gloves so well. So this is 10% in power for every time you activate an ability, and this stacks up to 3 times. So the reason this works so well with Mortar charge is because each use of the mortar counts as an ability. So you see there, that's 1 stack, 2 stacks of empower, 3 stacks, and then the following one just refreshes it. You see it's at 3 seconds, boom, 7 seconds. It goes on cooldown for 3 seconds, and you can start casting again to reapply that empower. I'm also using Crescent's wave for parallax, which gives me 12% base damage on anyone who is further than 10 meters away. Oh, I forgot one. So your heart rune benefits from Lich gloves, but it also refreshes and activates it too. Yeah, that shit is so good. Just kidding. Alright fellas, let me swipe over this gear real quick before I start yapping. This is just some gear that I Frankenstein together. I really only cared about the optimal equip load, which is 12.7, and just getting those artifacts and as high as gear score as I can get for those attributes. So yeah, those last clips I was using Life Taker just to see how it would play out, but at first I was using Crescent Wave, and that's specifically for parallax because you get that 12% base damage to targets further than 10 meters away. Works on both weapons, whereas Life Taker just gives you that rend and that extra dot, and those dots being really good for charging up your heart rune, because that heart rune just really ties up the whole build together. So this cannon blast is the AoE cannon blast as opposed to the one that passes through targets. I have this one at 702, but I just feel like it doesn't fit the whole AoE blasting everyone apart kind of comp. The Lich glove, something that I didn't point out at the intro, was that you do lose all of your stacks if you use a basic attack, which is why I didn't really like Crescent Wave, because while my BB cooldowns were on cooldown, I would switch to Crescent Wave and just start throwing some of these, but if any of those landed, then your empowers would just be gone. For the ring, Mortal Empowerment was really just to make up for whatever empower I didn't have, but ideally if you were like making this build efficient, you would swap in a whole bunch of fire harnessing and then some fire empower rune glass for that extra 20% empower on your armor, because this one, the Lich gloves, only give you up to 30%. And then I guess one perk that I believe I'm missing that would help out a lot is the plagued splitting grenades, and you can just put that somewhere on your armor, or you could swap it in for your resupplying mortar charge, because while this isn't very consistent, you do get that extra mortar charge, which I feel is a lot more fun than that 20% power. So I was explaining why I was running Mortal Empowerment, but I would honestly replace that one and Purifying Heart with either fire damage, burning for the extra ticks on splitting grenades, and Invigorated Punishment, because you know that those clumps that you're blasting have a lot of buffs on them. Here are the attributes that I was running: 150 con minimum, 350 strength, and then dump the rest into intelligence, or vice versa. You could actually go 150 strength and 350 intelligence, depending on how you wanted to run your secondary weapon. Mine being the Crescent Wave actually benefits more from 350 strength, but maybe with the Life Taker could be better if I was running 350 intelligence. Here is the Blunderbuss skill tree. I just wanted to make sure that I got doubled down, and then I just went down the line on these 3 skills because they are the furthest range abilities. There is also, let's see, where is it? Artillery. Direct base damage from abilities increased by 15% if the victim is 10 meters or further away. That's basically just Crescent Wave stacking on top of each other. Greatsword, you can run this however you want. At first I was running all 3 defensive abilities because it's just my defensive weapon, but I swapped to Relentless Rush over Roaring Rupture. And then if you're running Life Taker, there is that.